All right, so welcome back to the Be a Life podcast. It's your boy K.Slon here with my dog,
Hey Jones, what's
Jay
up?
Jones. And man, we got a very special guest today. We got a special guest today. We got a brother, man, like I said before, well, before we had got cut out, man, he's doing a lot of great things in the community. Really respect what he's got going on. I think it's a needed place to be. I actually wanted to get into it myself, but he's a young guy that's already spearheaded in that direction. I'll let him introduce yourself. Let him just introduce himself to you guys. So go ahead, Lavell. Oh, my bad.
But nah, thank y'all for having me, man. My name's Lavell McCullers. I'm the owner of Cross and Crown Athletic Consultant and Training, where we teach student athletes, unnoticed student athletes, how to navigate the recruiting process and get to the next level and get their education paid for. So I'm honored to be a guest on you guys' podcast. Honored to be able to speak to you guys' audience.
Blessing, brother. It's a blessing, brother. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. And man, real quick, Jay Jones, man, brother, how you feel today? I
Man,
mean,
I'm
just
good. I'm good. I'm blessed, man. Happy to
yeah,
be here.
yeah. I see
For
you
sure.
representing fearless.
Yeah, we got the Fearless Foundation shirt.
Yeah, we
Vice
represent.
President, Jarrell Jones. But
Yeah,
happy to watch some football, chill out. I ain't have to worry about it because the Cowboys didn't make the playoffs. So
yeah, it stinks, man.
how
My
Rats.
about the
team ain't make the
Bears?
playoffs either, so
How about the how about
we in the
those
same
Bears?
boat. We in the same boat.
Hey, unlike you two brothers, my team made the playoffs, so we got to lose today, and
One
it's
and
all
done.
good. It's all good. It's all good, man. It's all good. We all in the same boat now. Now we here. So L's have had
For
been
sure.
handed out, and we ready to move on. New season, new season. But yeah. So Lavelle, man, talk to us a little bit about the book, man. You know what I'm saying? Cause you introduced us to yourself. Tell us about the book. You already written the book, man. Enlighten us.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. So I just released my book. It's my first book ever. It released on New Year's Day. It's called The Recruiting Compass. So if you when you think about a compass, you think about it's the navigational guide or a navigational tool to get you to where your destination and get you where you need to go. So that's how I really came up with the name, The Recruiting Compass. Where I'm, like I said, I want to help kids navigate the recruiting process and get to their next level. In the ebook, it's powerful information, man. It's about 60 to 70 pages. It has everything that they need to know about the recruiting process, from the mentality that it takes to getting noticed, to visit scholarships, to the application process. So I break down everything they need to know about the recruiting process in this book. I also detail my journey and outline my journey, how I went from an unnoticed student athlete coming from a small high school that really didn't gain much exposure. It was very small high school. Not too many athletes was going to college to play sports. It's just detailing my journey and some of the obstacles and ups and downs that I went through, and how I used faith and never giving up to overcome those obstacles. So that's just a little bit about my book, and it's doing really good so far. Three, yeah, about three student athletes have already got offers from the book. Just putting that information and applying it into action. Um, it's like countless others have already put the information into action and actually got in contact with coaches and got coaches to reach back out to them and starting the recruiting process. So I'm very proud about the book. It's my pride and joy right now. It's my intellectual property. My dog is proud about it too. Uh, but yeah, so that's my book, man.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
my book,
yeah,
the
yeah.
ebook. It's called The Recruiting Compass. If you do want to order it, you could just therecruitingcompass.com/ebook, and order it, man. It's powerful information, and it's going to change lives and change the lives of youth, our young athletes for generations and generations to come. So I'm honored to be able to talk about it and put it out into the world.
Nah, big. That's huge, brother. That's huge, man. And shout out to you for doing that because I know for me personally, I was searching for information like that. That's why I think it's amazing that you're doing that. And then Jay Jones, I know specifically, I remember talking to you, Jay Jones. We talked about the way it goes with
Man,
being from a school where your teammates and you don't really see cats go to college. You know what I'm saying? You don't see that
Hmm.
stuff, and you end up having your brain thinking that, man, maybe I'm just gonna be a high school athlete, and I'm not gonna be able to get to the next level because I know guys so much better than me that didn't make it. and
Right.
stuff like that runs through your mind. And I know with Everman, Jay Jones, you want to talk about that a little bit, man. That was
So at my high school, we went 14-1 in Texas, so it
Mm.
was a pretty big deal.
Okay, yeah, that's big. That's big
yeah.
right
Uh,
there.
I'm the only guy that signed a scholarship on signing day. I was probably the, let's say,
Wow.
eighth, seventh best player on the team. Um, we just didn't know. Our coach didn't uh, put us out there like that. No coaches really knew about it. So I got offered by Buffalo, Montana State.
Okay.
Like nobody in Texas even knew who I was. It was weird. So it was just I don't know. It was kind of weird because I thought I was, as a kid, you thought you're going D1 or
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking a lot of my teammates are going D1, but on signing day, I'm signing the papers by myself, faxing them in, and I'm not the only person signing the scholarship. It was really weird. But yeah, it was a really big time high school. A lot of, I should say,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
have a
yeah,
lot of people in trouble at our school.
yeah.
So the colleges don't want to come and look at us.
It's
Mm-hmm.
that's crazy too, bro. Cause like I came from Harker Heights High School in Killeen, and we went. Let me tell you two records for the 2 years I was there. Cause I transferred in from California. We went 1-9 my junior year, and we went 2-8 my senior year. And I
Mm-hmm.
was receiving Division 1 interest. And it's like to look at that's like on the opposite side of it. You know what I'm saying? Like I ended up going to Montana State based on just my athletic ability because my grades were terrible. But I know for a fact, like the camps I went to, uh, the information I had from my dad, being in NCAA clearinghouse early on, taking my test scores
Mm-hmm.
early on, those were the things that your coaches don't necessarily tell you about in conversation. And Lavell, you and I talked about this before. Why I believe what you're doing is so needed because you don't get those
Mm-hmm.
pieces of information from high school coaches a lot of the time. And it's like a gap, man. It's like a gap. If you're in an area where a lot of people ain't just talking about that, you don't hear it,
Mm-hmm.
you might miss it. You might miss it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, just and like yeah, we talked before this, and that was one of the big reasons why I started my business, Cross and Crown Consulting, is because that gap, the huge gap. Where I'm from Harford County, Maryland, a small county, small town, in Maryland, that, like I said, didn't have no exposure really. No college coaches really coming in and out into the school to look at us. The last athlete that really made it out of where I was from was EJ and Aaron Henderson. I don't know if you guys know who that was, but they played linebacker in
I
the
remember
NFL for the
EJ.
Minnesota Vikings, and stuff like that. Those were the last two athletes to come out, and that was back in like the 2000s. So I always wonder why, like, we have so much talent in my area, but like I said, throughout my brother was in high school. My older brother, he had some of the most talented athletes to play with him, and they never went to college. And then when I grew up, I was coming up, and my coach in high school literally had no clue about the recruiting process. So it was I like you said, I got recruited off my talent and my dad just pushing me and knowing the information and providing me with that information. So like the coaches not knowing that information and it's not trickling down to the student athletes. It's a huge gap, and so many people are not going to college and getting that opportunity. It's not even it's about the education, but it's more about the experience too. It's a huge experience in life to go to college and to just to be around that atmosphere. So that's why I started my business, man. I want to help as many student athletes get into college, get their education paid for if possible, because
Hmm.
y'all know, starting out as an adult with thousands of dollars in debt, it's not a good situation. So that's my mission, and that's what I'm all about. So yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Jay Jones, you know what I'm saying? Jay Jones is my dog. That's the general. So he gonna lead us on this. And man, I love to get into these topics, brother. So hey, Jay Jones, that
Yeah.
man, take it away. Take it away.
All right. So since we're talking about recruiting and everything, and y'all both said y'all had dads that kind of knew the process to kind of help y'all. I was the first generation college like football player, everything. So nobody knew anything. So I mean, you don't have to tell everything in your book, but what's some
Yeah.
information you would give to a parent that you would give to a parent, that first time kid going to college, first athlete, just kind of breaking the bone in the family. What's some advice you would give to a parent to, get his name out?
I would say, man, parents, you gotta be willing to invest in your child's future. If you don't know that information yourself, which is something my dad did with me, is he got me a recruiting coach. He got me around those people who knew the information so that I could use that information to succeed. He took me to the camps. He took me to camps I was going to different camps every weekend, traveling different states, just trying to gain exposure. He paid for me to go to personal recruiting sessions or personal training sessions or developmental camps that's going to develop my skills and help me compete with those other athletes at that level. He pushed me. He urged me to reach out to coaches every single day. Like I would say, parents, stay on your child and make sure they're committed. But if they're not really committed to it, then I wouldn't put all my time and effort into it. That's one thing that you gotta be honest about. Is your child got to be committed and honest about their commitment to the future. It's a process. It's a long process.
Yes.
Especially if you're coming from a small school or coming from not really a school that doesn't gain exposure. It's going to take some time. It's going to be long hours, finding coaches' information, calling them, reaching out to them, emailing them, DMing them, going to camp. So you got to let your child know that it's going to be a long process. You got to be committed. And then once they're committed, you got to be as committed as they are to helping get to the future. So that's just some advice I give to a parent. I talk about it more in my book. I talk about it when we do our one-on-one recruiting sessions and things like that. So that's just a little piece of advice I could give.
Right.
And then I want to add to that too, man, because I love what you said about it being a long process. And then there's also a part of that with it being so long that I went through, which was the denial. You will meet denial. Like you will be denied when you are trying to go to a school and get your school paid for because you are a commodity. Once you agree that okay, I want to go and do this at the next level. Every time you go up a new level, more money comes into the situation. So once these
Exactly.
schools agree to pay so much money for you to take classes at their university and be a representation for what they are about, you gotta understand that they're gonna go through the auditing process pretty intense. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you could be
Yeah.
a baller, and I know Lavell, you got a story you told me about that was pretty crazy, but you could be a baller, and it could be one little thing that you'll be communicating with them back and forth, and all of a sudden they go cold on you like a girl at the club. It's like it's
Exactly.
you can't do nothing about it. Like you just gotta move on and don't let that stop your drive. Don't let that stop what you believe is gonna happen for you guys in the situation. Just keep moving. It's just part of it. And also with
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, like it's like I went through that with U of H because U of H was reaching out to me, came to the school, watch practice. Coach Clarence McKinney, shout out to Coach McKinney. He's actually the head coach at Texas State, or not Texas State, Texas Southern State, I think. Right?
Okay.
Is
Yeah.
that it?
Texas Southern.
TSU.
Yeah, I played them in college. So
Yeah,
that was our
yeah.
rivals actually.
Yeah, the head coach now, man. He was super cool, man. He came to my practice and he was like, man, I like the way you play. He's like, man, I want to offer you a scholarship right now. He talked to me after practice, and I was like, man, I was elated, bro. I was so excited. And then I went home and he said he's gonna talk to my counselor. And I went home, and then I tried to give him a call to give me his number, and then he just didn't answer. And then not only did he not answer, I heard from him like 2 days later. He told me that it was like there was no way I would be eligible based upon the information that he was given. So he was like, I'm gonna invite you to a summer camp, which he did invite me to. I went to that summer camp, and then he told me that after that camp that it was between me and another guy. They chose the other guy. And I'm pretty sure that most of it was based behind my grades. I mean, they knew that I was the struggle guy in the classroom. So
Yeah.
denial is gonna happen, man. And I know
Hey, same thing happened to me uh, at Buffalo. Texting, calling, come to the school, everything. I'm going D1 in my head. I'm a Division 1 athlete. 3 days before signing day, they said it was between me and another defensive tackle. So they told me like if I didn't commit, that they was gonna pick him. Tried to force me into it type thing. So I'm like, that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. It's like you trying to force me into it. I told him I was waiting on signing day, so They were like, all right, so they just kind of like stopped, like all contact
Stop.
stopped.
Yeah.
It's like weird.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
they show so much love, and then when they don't need you, when you just recruit number 55, it's like, all right
Yeah.
then.
It's that.
Yeah. Facts. And I talk about that in my book. I got a chapter in my book called Mentality. And I detail the mentality that it takes to go through the recruiting process, just the mental toughness you got to have, and just being honest. Like you said, a lot of coaches aren't going to want you. A lot of coaches aren't going to recruit you. A lot of coaches are going to ghost you, just because they might be interested in when they see your talent, but when they, like you said, their grades, or they might see you in person and it's not matching up, or your character. They
Mm-hmm.
might ask your coach just different things. Any little thing can make a coach or turn a coach off. So yeah, I talk about the mentality in my book. I know we had a story about something that happened to me during my recruiting process. I don't know if you guys have a question about that, but I won't get into it yet. So yeah.
Nah, man, get into
No, go
it. Get
ahead, go
into
ahead,
it.
go
Get
ahead.
All
into
right,
it.
yeah. So yeah, I had a very, very, very unique situation during my recruiting process in high school. I went through the recruiting process twice. So in high school, I went to out of high school, I went to a D1 college. It wasn't a good fit. I was a bounce back and went JUCO, and then I went back to D1. So I went through the recruiting process twice. So I have a lot of information, key tips on the recruiting process. But yeah, my recruiting process in high school, I was a sophomore. I was about to go into my junior year. Um, I was a star athlete, all state, all conference. And my school, like I told you, my first school, high school I went to, it was small, didn't gain any exposure. My head coach had just left. So I
Mm-hmm.
was already planning to transfer to gain some more exposure, to get noticed by colleges, and to play under a better system for me. So I just remember my dad, taking me through the recruiting process, taking me to camps. I had went to a camp at Duke. When I went to the camp at Duke, I killed it there, and the coaches were interested. So they invited me back to a visit to their school. So I went on a visit to their school. Went through the whole process of the visit. And at the end of the visit, I talked to the coaches. They were like very interested in me. They told me they were coming to my school the next Monday, to come talk to my coaches, and to come see me. So that next Monday roll around, I'm excited. I don't hear from them the whole day. So I'm in school. I'm excited. Coach is coming to talk to me. I'm telling my friends, everything like that. And the whole day I don't hear from them. They don't call me into the office. They don't come to my class. I had a little bit of exposure, so I knew the recruiting process, and coaches were coming to talk to me and things like that. So I knew that they were going to pull me out of class, but this day they didn't pull me out. So I was going through the whole day just wondering what was going on. I got off the bus. I went home. And I just remember walking in the house, and my parents were like waiting on me. It was like a scene from the movie on some weird stuff. My parents was waiting on me.
Yeah, they're ready.
And yeah, they was at the kitchen table, like we had an island, and they was just sitting there. And they got in the house. It was like, yeah, look, we gotta talk to you. Um, the Duke coach called us. He was like, yeah, we talked to the Duke coach. He said, we love your talent. We love you as a quarterback. But when we came to your school, we talked to your coach, and he said, you're not a good fit for our program. So we're going to move on. And at the time, I like that me like, they were coming. And another thing I left out is they came and they told my parents on the phone that they were coming to the school that Monday to offer me a full ride scholarship, and everything like that. So, and I had no clue, but I found out once they called, and my parents told me, and that broke me, man. That broke my spirit. I kind of didn't want to play football no more. Almost gave up on myself, but I pushed through it. I had faith in what I could do in my talent, and I had confidence. I made it to the next level. So that's just a story I wanted to tell you about. Just something little, and it was. And what I found out later, what it was I was transferring. And, as a star athlete, my coach didn't want me to transfer. So
Yep.
I guess he told. I really still to this day don't know what he told the Duke coach, but I figured it's something around. He didn't want me transferring, so he told him I wasn't a good fit for their school or something like that.
Wow.
But just to tell you a crazy story about my recruiting process. I mean, that's just one of many, but that's just one time that literally that small thing, turned the coach off. Just any type of, and that's why you got to have that strong mentality and the mental toughness to get through the recruiting process.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, and I say for the parents as well. You know, if you got a son or a daughter going through the recruiting process for athletics, you gotta understand that you are the one that has the best interest for your kid. You know, your student athlete, your child is always gonna have to have you as an advocate first before these coaches. Don't assume that they're saying what's gonna be in your son or daughter's best interest and things like that.
The
You
fact.
Once you find out that your son or daughter is getting recruited, go ahead and step in the middle of it and introduce yourself to that coach and start to open
Mm-hmm.
up conversations so that that type of stuff doesn't happen. So they don't have a misconstrued understanding of your son or daughter's character because that
Mm-hmm.
happens, man. That happens a lot,
It
man.
does. It happens a lot.
It
And
does.
a lot of people don't understand that, sports is a business.
Yeah.
Some at some schools, some colleges, not some colleges, but some high schools, it's a business. Coaches get paid, so they're going to treat that. They're going to treat it like a business. And if you're not on their plan or you're not on the path that they want you to be on, they can use it and twist it against you. So
Yeah.
definitely, I agree with what you say for sure.
Oh yeah. And
Facts.
if the coach really, if the coach recruiting, especially these days, if they're recruiting your kid and they're not introducing themselves to the parents and stuff and everything, that might be the first problem.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
need to
that's
know,
that's a red flag.
right, the
Uh,
family dynamic. Yeah, a lot of coaches, that's the first thing they try to do is get the mom and her emotions and stuff, and then get the dad wearing the gear and stuff. So
yep.
yeah,
Yep.
it's like
See, yeah, because I know that was
That's a
something that they
fact.
always told us to do, man. Is kind of because when I was coaching at Oklahoma Panhandle State, and then Jay Jones has been a
Hmm.
football coach at the college level as well at Montana Tech. And we, the goal is to get the kid on campus. And if you're gonna get the kid on
Hmm.
campus, you want to get them on campus so they can see what you got going on. You can meet the parents. It can be a family, like you're trying to bring them into your family, and that should be on the opposite side of it. That's how parents got to look at it. It's like, do would I trust this man or this woman to be a father figure or a mother like figure in my child's life? Like, really,
Hmm.
this recruiter first
Really.
and then the rest of the staff, because they about to be with them for about 4 or 5 years
oh
now, and they going they
Yeah.
you know how I go. That's like when we on campus as student athletes. It's like if you have an issue, that's who you go to. That's your direct line. So it's like once they don't build that connection with you as a parent, it should be a red flag. It
Hmm.
should be like, why don't you come and get information from me? Why are you asking, their coach every single thing? Like at some point you should give me a phone call, or if they're not doing that, then you need to jump in the middle of it if you want your child to go to the next level. So that's
yeah.
something I,
For
I,
sure.
I feel like for sure, for sure.
This question here, big question for me, because I know a lot of kids, 5'10", 5'11",
Hmm.
5'8", 5'9", just smaller kids, that just think everything's Division 1. There's Division 1 or bust. And I saw you talk about this on Instagram too. So this is a
Hmm.
question I've been thinking. How can we like glorify the smaller schools? Because I know some kids don't go to college if they don't go Division 1. It's like, I mean, if I
Hmm.
don't go to Baylor, if I don't go to
Yeah,
Texas,
it's
I don't want
weird.
to play football. And it's like there's other there's football everywhere,
It's
and you can
weird.
go to the league
Yeah.
anywhere really. So
Hmm.
how can we put that in parents' heads, kids' heads? Like, what is there something you had like a that you can think of?
Uh,
'Cause I saw you talking about it on Instagram. I wrote this down earlier.
yeah. Nah. That's a great question. I said that's a great question. Uh, I would say, man, we just got to talk about it more and get more ears and more listeners to listen. That would be the number one thing. Kids, like you said, I talk about it on Instagram. I talk about it with every kid that comes to me. And man, I get hundreds of DMs a day of kids asking questions and it's always, how do I talk to D1 schools? How do I get a Power 5 school to talk to me? How do I get noticed by Power 5? And the first thing I always tell them is stop worrying about that. Like, it's not about the division you play at. It's not about um the being at that number 1 school, because the reality of it is only 2 to 3% of all athletes go Division 1. And then when you break that down into like further, half of them are going to play. So you don't want to. The main objective is not to get to D1 and sit on the bench. And that's what I tell them. The main objective is to get to a school that fits you, and you're going to have an opportunity to actually play at that school and be seen. Especially if you want to go to the next level, it's about exposure and being seen. You're not going to get that sitting on the bench at a D1 school, no matter where you go. So that's what I kind of break it down to, and I let them know that there's scholarship offers at the D2 level. There's scholarship offers, academic scholarships at the D3 level. JUCO and NAIA schools give out scholarships. So it's all about, man, getting your education paid for, and it's all about getting seen on the field. And then, I just try to give them some numbers and give them some examples of athletes that came from small schools, like Shannon Sharp. He came from Savannah State. He's the best tight end to ever play. Or like, Julian Edelman or Steph Curry came from Davidson, a small D1 school, borderline D2 school. Like it's so many people that came from small schools that are actually killing in the NFL and that came from being undrafted, and that are killing in the NFL, that are stars in the NFL. So, or not just the NFL, or because I talk about all sports, NBA or soccer, Premier Soccer League, and things like that. It's not about just going to the top school or the brightest school with the biggest lights and things like that. So I think we just need to talk about it more, and coaches need to glorify that more. And it starts with the head coaches too, at the schools, at the high schools, letting them know that it's not about going D1, it's about going to school. So that'll be my answer.
I agree with that 100%. It's like when it's like when these kids are doing that, they don't understand as well that when you going to school, like when you going, because you are going to school first, like you are a student
Yeah,
first.
first,
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? So I know a lot of
I
times they be
break
like,
that
man,
down too. Like,
they be like, man, what team I'm
yeah,
going to? How good this team is? Like you going to school, so let's be real about it. Most of
you're going to spend way more time in school than you're going to do in your sport. So
exactly. So it's like when you choosing a school, you need to choose a school that you want to be at. Because I don't care if it's prestigious or not. You know, OU is located in Norman, Oklahoma. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be real
facts.
about it. Like, I don't want to go to Norman, Oklahoma. Like, I mean, like, yeah, I would love to play for OU and be under the lights, but I mean, the lights go off. You know what I'm saying? You live in the dorms. It's like you're gonna be away from home. You gotta look at
Yep.
everything, man. You gotta look at everything, and it's like it doesn't matter if it's D3, D2, D1, NAIA. If it fits, it fits, and if it fits, you're gonna play better. You're gonna be a better athlete there because it fits. Now you can be like you are at the crib, like when you was in high school. Now you got the comfort level of like the family dynamic, and you fed, and you feel like these people care about you, so you able to kind of take risk on the field and take different risks that you feel comfortable taking because you comfortable where you at. So like I feel like that was something like in my heart. I know as a high schooler, man, I used to be like, man, like when I got the offer from Montana State, hot. Boy, I was hot. And that's the only D1 offer I had. But I was like, why isn't Baylor hitting me back? Like, why didn't I get Texas Tech? Like, I look like a back that could play at New Mexico State at least. But it's like, I was so lost in the shuffle because I was just looking at my friends getting these offers, or the guy across the street got an offer from so and so. So it's like I'm at least supposed to be playing in the same division as him, same conference as him. It's like, bro, like it's about school first. Like these
It
athletes
is
you just named, those athletes. Shannon Sharp is one of the best commentators, period, right now,
ever.
ever, ever. And he's a well-rounded person because of this grind.
Exactly.
This grind that you go through, no matter where
Exactly.
you at, you got to build yourself no matter what. You're not gonna be an athlete forever. This stuff ends. Like
I'm glad you said that.
we are out here because
Oh,
we
for
know it
real.
ends. Like at some point we have to transition. You got to transition. So we got to make sure that these kids know like this will end for you, but you have to
Oh yeah.
use athletics as a vehicle, bro. Like this athletics thing is a vehicle to drive you somewhere. So if you go into a
Exactly.
school, you get in the wrong whip, bro. If it's not the
Mhm.
school you need to be at, you get in the wrong
Right.
car and you will transfer. You will
Yep.
transfer. And
You
are you
will,
gonna?
yeah.
You will transfer. You're gonna leave. I
And
did
that
it.
was my problem.
Yeah, using the wrong whip.
Hey,
I
and look.
transferred. I chose the wrong school at first coming out of high school, and I didn't even last a semester there. So
Yeah.
I could tell you firsthand, I transferred in the middle of the semester, and because it wasn't a fit, it wasn't something that I wanted to do, and the academic fit was there, but athletically and socially, it wasn't what I was used to or what I needed to grow and be a better player and better person. So I just took a leap of faith and took the JUCO route. But yeah, that's just something I touch on with the mentality is try to change your mindset. What I kind of tell my athletes is, would you rather go to a D1 school and sit on the bench, or go to a D2 school and break records? Think about it, because a lot of them get mixed up in, oh, the D2 it doesn't have good talent, or the talent level is lower. Or no, it's not. Have you played at a D2 yet? Have you seen it? It's
Hey,
still ballers and
whew,
stuff like that. And what I tell people is the best competition I played against was at JUCO, when everybody's hungry and
Yes,
everybody's trying to
sir.
get a scholarship.
Boy,
So
boy.
it's not about the talent level or the division level you at. It's about playing, man. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I played Division 2, and I played so many NFL players, and hey, they play different whatever level they on. You can tell they NFL players.
exactly.
So I played,
Exactly. That's what I tell people too, man.
yeah, I
College is a
played
different level.
I
It's
played
different.
Kyrie Robinson. He played for the Saints. He played running back.
Hmm.
We went to West
Dog.
Texas A&M. I went to Tarleton State.
Yeah.
Hey, got the
Uh-huh.
ball. People like Kyrie in the stands. Yeah, I'm like, what's this dude? Boom, he trucking people and
You
stuff. I'm like,
found out real quick.
Yeah.
You found
Kyrie,
out real quick.
Kyrie, Kyrie. Look,
You're like,
Real quick.
it's Kyrie. I know it's Kyrie time. It's Kyrie time out here.
But yeah, man. I actually went to one college for all 5 years of football, but I ain't gonna lie. Like y'all said, when I got there, I felt like it was home. The
Hmm.
coach that recruited me came to. He met me. I went to every high school basketball game. I didn't even play basketball, but I loved sports. And he met me at my high school basketball games, like every Wednesday and Friday. And he come sit with me and just chop it up. And I'm like, man, this dude real cool. He made me feel
Hmm.
like, I was respected, and he cared about me. And then I went to visit the school. It felt like home. And I actually ended up staying there all 5 years. Now we had a coaching change, and that's another thing
Mm-hmm.
in college,
That
man.
is,
It's
Will happen.
business.
yeah. Yeah.
You commit to one coach, one program, and something might change. But
Hmm.
Tarleton State was a good school, so good fit. It was a blessing. I didn't like D2. I didn't know anything about D2, but going D2, I started to love it. After my probably like my second or third year, I was like, man, I'm
Hmm.
playing football. I'm going to school.
Exactly.
Education.
Exactly.
And like for me, man, I went to Montana State, which was D1 AA. I played there, and when I went there, my freshman year was miserable. I hated being there. I hated Montana. Like, I mean, shout out to all
Hmm.
the relationships I built there, but I could not stand living in Montana for the 2 years I was there. I did
Hmm.
not like it. The only thing I thought that came out of it good during that time was my daughter was born during that time. Cadence. Shout out to Cadence, 2012.
Hmm.
Then I shout out to Cadence, love my baby. But then I left. Then I went to Cisco Junior College in Texas,
Hmm.
and
Okay.
man, miserable there too. And I went there because they were talking to me coming out of high school, and I was like, well, I know I'm gonna play, and ended up splitting time with a cat that I felt like wasn't nearly on my talent level, but it's JUCO, so there's certain how it go, politics,
Politics.
politics,
Yep.
and that's another thing with the college level is politics. So
Mhm.
after
Yeah.
that, I felt like I played, got hurt, whatever, and it was like I went to like a depression place. Like I was like depressed. Like I was really like, man, do I really even want to do this? Like I really feel like football may be something that was the wrong thing to go after. Like, maybe I'm not supposed to be playing football no more. Maybe I need to figure something else out because I'm a dad now, early. I'm a young dad. I got bills, I got people I owe, and I'm like, so long story short, end up at a D3, Hardin Simmons University. You know what I'm saying? Where the athletes are literally paying for their school weekly, that these cats is going to work to pay for, what I'm saying, pay for their bills. But some kids are like super academic, very smart kids there and things like that. And D3 is a different beast because the money is all gonna be coming from outside sources. Like it's not like they have any money for you in athletics. And Lavell and Jay Jones, you and I both worked the D3 level and play. I played at it. But it's just like it's when I got there though, I felt a family environment. Even though I paid for my school, arm and a leg, I felt like I was somewhere where I belong. And I was able to produce there. I ended up becoming an All-American, MVP football player. I ended up getting my master's degree. It was like so much came from that situation because I was comfortable.
Mhm.
I felt good. I was like, man, I love the game again. I love everything about what I'm in, and that's the important part of it in any realm of life. Like if you're gonna do something, you want to be comfortable. Because if you're not comfortable, you're not gonna produce. Like you're not. Like your production will
That's a
be
fact.
limited.
Big facts.
That's a fact.
Big facts, bro.
Yeah, mental health is a whole it's a whole different. It's with football players and everything. If your mental ain't right,
Mm-hmm.
your physical ain't right, then you're just not playing right. You fumbling, you
Mm-hmm.
you running the wrong way,
All
running the
sports.
wrong play. All sport, yeah, you shooting
Mm-hmm.
air balls. I mean
Yeah.
anything, man.
Turnovers. Now you turn the ball over every time. Everybody, what wrong with you, man? Because you depressed, like, or you going through anxiety of the situation that you
Mm-hmm.
in, and nobody knows about that. They just see the statistics. So they look at your stats, like, oh man, he had a down year. Well,
Right.
you don't know that he lost his grandma. You know
Right,
what I'm saying? And nobody there in the
Exactly.
area was supporting him during that time.
right.
He felt like it was,
Mm-hmm.
he felt lost. But I mean, I love that we could talk about that, and I want to segue into something else, like which talk about the character piece, like because
Mm-hmm.
getting to the point where we at, all three of us on this call, we've been through adversity through athletics, but it builds. I believe team sports. I always tell parents and kids and anybody that's willing to listen. Team sports builds a tremendous amount of character in you because you get introduced to life very early, like the cycles of life, because team sports like replicates the cycles of life, especially football. I
It
think
does. For sure.
so.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it really does. So like speak on that character piece with what you kind of been through, Lavell, because because you've been through and she like, I'm getting in this video like I am
Yeah,
the
she
star of the
trying her
show.
hardest.
But speak on, man, you've been, man, because I know you went from the small high school to a bigger high school, then you went to the
Mm-hmm.
JUCOs, and then you went like how much do you feel like character played a role in you just being like, man, I ain't gonna quit? Like, like because at some point you want to quit. So how
Yeah.
important is that for like, people in general, man, just to have some character about them and just talk about what you've been through, like as far as this
Yeah.
battle.
Yeah. Character is, I would say, not even just in football or sports. Character is like one of the most key attributes you need just to get through in life. Um, because your character is the way you carry yourself, the way you think, all of your what's the word I'm looking for? All of your actions or your attributes built into one. So the character for me is number one. Building good character, maintaining good character, making sure you're building up your character throughout your whole journey, not just once you get in trouble or once you something
Mm,
happens. You want to start building your character at a young age. So I think it plays a huge part into where you want to get to and what you want to do. Like I said, you got to have a strong character. Some characteristics of yours got to be you can't give up. You got to grind. You got to put in that hard work because I almost gave up 3 or 4 times. From politics of college, just me starting throughout a whole camp, and then a new quarterback coming in, and they just starting them right off the bat. Um,
whoo,
just little stuff like that. So you definitely got to have strong character. You got to have a strong mindset, and those two things tie in together. Like before your physical attributes, you have to have a good mindset because, like I said, if you're the best athlete and your mind's messed up and you're not getting good grades and you messing up in the streets or in your community at home, that's gonna all those things play into the opportunities you get. So definitely, I'm a huge advocate for having a good character, and building a strong character or a strong reputation about yourself for sure.
Oh
absolutely.
yeah, oh
And
yeah.
Jay Jones, Mr. Character. Jay Jones, Jay Jones. Let me tell you something about my brother right here. I'm gonna go ahead. I do it every time, but look, man, this dude is like he's a consistent dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, those
Mm-hmm.
athletes that just kind of did the same thing all the time. That's what you're dealing with
Mm-hmm.
Jay Jones, and
Okay.
I know that's what got him to the level that he ended up seeing. Like he had some success in athletics, and Jay Jones, like, what do you feel like could, like, I guess, contributed to why you were like that as far as with your consistency, and how is that translated into your life now? You know what I'm saying? Like what
uh,
you're doing now, because two master shouty, walk around. You don't like when I do that. But
That's
nah,
tough. That's
that's
tough.
tough.
That's
That's
tough.
tough.
That's
Uh,
tough. Congrats, man.
yeah, thank you. But yeah,
Nah, for real though, because a lot
nah,
of
for
people
real.
don't understand that aspect of college, bro. School is a real aspect of college. Like that's like my man Kerry was saying, that's number one aspect of college.
Yeah.
You're gonna be in school more than you're playing your sport. So
Yeah.
and the work is not easy. So being
No.
a master's double master, that man, that's huge. So
Thank you.
congrats, man,
No,
for
for real.
sure.
Thank you. I always try to blow it off because Carrie, but thank you for real. But uh, as a kid, like I told you, my mom's was she built. I was almost like in the military almost. It was like, hey, have your clothes ready. Have your clothes ready for tomorrow. Because when you get up, you ain't missing the bus. If you miss, it was just everything was in order.
Hmm.
So it was just
I was in the military, so
oh well, yeah, she
For
kind of
real? We gotta get on that later. We gotta get on that later.
yeah, but no, she just
my
always
parents
had
was
me.
in my military, but yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh
that's
yeah.
what I get what you're saying. Yeah, so no, it was just
Hmm.
consistent. Then uh, if I could rap a whole song, like my mom would just listen to me rap a song, and she'd be like, "If you miss one spelling word, you can't play your PlayStation because you just rapped the whole." And I'm like,
I think that's in all our communities, man.
"Yeah,"
That's
it's
my
like,
mom said the
"Whoa!"
same
So you gonna
thing.
sit there,
Yep.
you gonna listen to me do this, and then I get in trouble for doing it? Like, oh
Yep.
yeah, because you're smart,
Yep.
you're too smart. So I'm like, okay.
Mm.
So just anything like that. Like my mom was always grades first, grades first. If I got a B, she knew how smart I was. I was just like a little lazy with school. I was more focused on football, and she was like, no, school comes first, school comes first, school comes first. So I had to make all A's and everything. So once I got to
I can
high school,
relate.
yeah, once I got to high school, it was like it was more like
Oh man.
My man was dropping them
That
gems.
man
Ah,
Jazz went ahead and spazzed out on us. He gonna come back. But nah, I
yeah, but I can pick it up. I can pick it up because I can relate, man. I literally like Jarrell was saying, man. I couldn't bring home a C. So if it was it could be a C plus, man. My parents would spaz on me. Not saying in a bad way, but they would get on me, because they knew I was smarter than that. They knew I was better than that. So
yeah.
that's another thing about, one thing I want to tell parents for sure is to stay on your kids about their grades, man. It's more important than just athletics. Like you said, you lost out on offers because of your grades, and me personally, all of my teammates, like my best friends, my teammates, some athletes that I knew, like the best athletes, even better than me,
Yeah.
and they didn't even go nowhere because of their grades. Like literally, they were slacking in school and things like that. So that's
yeah,
definitely something that's very, very important,
yeah. I don't even know
Absolutely.
where did I fall off.
Nah, last thing we heard, boy, your eyes was blinking and doing something crazy. And then
man.
we heard you talk about your mama though. You talking about your mama and
No,
how
but no, she just came. Like I said, I went to high school and I kept it up. It was more like I didn't want to disappoint my family. My granddad
right.
always said, your name means something. That last name means something. So I always took pride in everything I did. So school was something I did. It was like I didn't really want to do it, but to play football, I had to do school. So and then in life, like you say now, at 18, I started doing stocks. I mean, I traveled to Alaska and went work for my uncle. I traveled the world a lot. Well, America, not the world. I just got my passport this year, so I'm working on traveling the world.
Hey,
But yeah, it just I try to stay positive. Like y'all said, with my character, anything that happens negative in my life is kind of like, hey, you can dwell on it for about 5 minutes, but it's time to move on. Let's get to
right.
it. I save
Hmm.
money, put money to the side to just for rainy days. You never know what's gonna happen. So I have fun, but I also have a savings account. So I go out, I do my thing, but
Hmm.
at certain points it's like, hey, this budget is the budget. So I'm gonna put this money to the side, and then this is my play money. So
Hmm.
everything like Kerry said, it's just consistent with me. It's kind of like I do me, and if you're not on the same wavelength, on the same road as I am, you can go. You can go. I'm cool with
Yeah.
it. Like go do your thing, and I'm gonna stay in my lane. So that's how I
Hmm.
am.
And to add to that, you know what I'm saying? Like I haven't always been the most consistent. Like I came from a military background, like yourself, Lavelle, with your parents, and then probably like your mama was on you, Jarrell. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like my dad and my mom was pretty on top of me, but I had a I had a very creative spirit. You know what I'm saying? I felt like I knew
Hmm.
I knew what was best all the time, and I went through a lot of bumps in the road, self-inflicted damage that my parents did not push me to. I literally did it to myself, and
Hmm.
I want to kind of tell people that as far as when we're talking about this character building and the importance of having good character, the adversity is very important as well because what it does is it teaches you that you can always kind of come back. You know, once you go through some crazy stuff, you know, like man, I I I tell y'all, man, because it's the first time I did this on the podcast. But man, when I
Okay,
was at
okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah, we dropping them, man. We letting it transparent, keeping it real. When I was at Montana State, my first week on campus, I got a DUI. My
Mm-hmm.
first week on campus, like I hadn't even touched the rock yet. I'm a running back. I hadn't even touched the rock yet. No scrimmages, nothing. And it, I got, I got in trouble. I tried to hide it. Got caught. Got suspended for a game. Things like that. And I still didn't learn from the stuff I went through. So I ended up getting in more trouble as time progressed. And I think what it happened to me was I started to think that I was a mess up. You know what I'm saying? I labeled myself. You know, I was like, this is just
Mm-hmm.
me. I'm a mess up. So I'm like, where's the other mess ups at? So I started to go down a road that I wasn't even supposed to be on because I was just lost. I was lost in the sauce and I was looking for community. I was looking for somebody else to be, you know, misery loves company.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but then as I kind of got to that low point, got lost my scholarship, you know, ended up going the JUCO route, had roaches running through my dorm and things like that. You know what I'm saying? You know, the bathroom
Mm-hmm.
is nasty, the canned food is terrible. And then as I was just going through so much adversity after that, you know, mistake I made and the other mistakes I had made, it was like it made me really look at myself in the mirror, like, who is this dude? Like, who are you? You know, and I really
Mm-hmm.
picked apart myself and started to like face my fears that I had, you know, because that's what it is. It's like when you doing things and you making mistakes and you identify yourself with mistakes because you're afraid of something. There's some
Mm-hmm.
Right.
type of fear that's tied to it. So when I started to do that, then I started to link up with better people because I was being real with myself. I was like standing in truth. You know, I was being like, okay, like look, I may make a mistake, but I am not my mistake. Like my
Mm-hmm.
mistake is just that,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And then once you figure that out, then the sky's the limit. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you allow yourself to be how I put it a real person, man. You a real person. Like no matter how high you go, you still a real person. You can have a mistake and go all the way to the bottom, but if you got good people around you, you know what I'm saying? You ingesting good stuff, you reading the right stuff, you looking for the right information, then your life can change and that contributes to your character. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's why I know ain't nothing gonna floor me. And also with my faith in God, like I know like anything I go through, I can come back from it. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I could touch on that. You know, I talked to you about some of the troubles I
do that.
overcame. So
Do that.
I just since you transparent, so I'll be transparent about my situation too. So yeah, I got in trouble in college too. I know yours was early on, but mine was later, and mine was detrimental to what I wanted to do with my future. So yeah, my senior year of college, coming off a good junior year of college, playing good ball, gaining exposure at the D1 level, going into the spring ball year. I'm balling. I'm coming off the, y'all were college athletes, so after that first year in college, you get the feel of it, you get the flow of it. So now you feel like you ready to go now. So I'm getting that. So as a quarterback too, so I'm balling whole spring ball. It's my senior year. Coaches coming to spring ball. They give me their cards. I'm talking to them. They telling me they watching me this season. All the ups and downs.
And these NFL
So
coaches, just to give some
these
perspective.
NFL coaches,
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. There you go. Yeah, yeah. So NFL coaches, not just NFL coaches either. CFL coaches. They had XFL coaches, arena football coaches, all at the practices. And when you get to the college level, you'll see that more. But they was at our practices. They was talking to me. They were very interested in what I was doing. So I would say around towards the end of spring ball. Being a college student, I was into some things. I'll be transparent. I got called marijuana on campus. So that took my career and took a whole detour, right? And being in Texas, it's not legal like other states, so it was some consequences with that. So I had to take a drug class. I had to do some community service hours, and I can't fault the school system for what they did, but just to tell you a little bit about it. So I ended up doing everything right. They told me if I do everything right, I'll be eligible for the season. I'm good to go. Can go through camp, everything. So I made sure I got everything done. And this is another thing that is a testament to faith too. But I got everything done. Me and my coach, we went up to the school board. I keep forgetting the name of the academic people that,
Trustees.
not the trustees, but the board who decide on what happens when
Oh
you
yeah.
get in trouble in college. I forgot what they're called, but I had to go up in front of them. Me and my coach, we went up and we checked off all the check marks. So they said I'm good to go. Finish spring ball out. Summer comes. I go through the whole summer camp. We're clicking. A week before the game, literally, I remember the day. It was a Monday before the game. We're getting ready to play Texas Southern, like you said. It's a rival school. We're getting ready to play them, and I remember coming out to practice, and my coaches just yelled my name. Coach White. He's a good coach. He played at Howard. He played in the league, and you guys could search him up, Coach White. But he big dude. He Lavell, what's going on? What you doing? I'm like, what's up, coach? What's wrong? He like, yeah, I just got a call from the people. They said you're not eligible to play this week. I'm like, what? What you talking about? He like, yeah, they said that you didn't take care of everything in the spring when that happened. I'm like, man, y'all with me. Y'all seen me take care of it. He's like, I know, but they're saying you're not eligible. And mind you, it's the game week. This the week of the game, first
Senior
game of the season.
year.
I'm starting quarterback, senior year, not junior, not sophomore, my senior year. So they like, yeah, you gotta go talk to him. So I even leave practice early. I head straight over there, go talk to him. Don't get a meeting for like 2-3 days. And when I finally get a meeting, they're like, yeah, you missed a step. You missed the appeal. You missed the part where you got to write an appeal. So I never wrote the appeal, but they never like outlined that for me, and which is not their fault. It's more on me. But they could have did a better job of communicating it. But they never outlined and said I had to write an appeal. They said in the paper, it said that I could, or I could take the other steps, which, I took the other steps. So go to the board. They like, yeah, there's nothing we could do right now. So I go back to my coaches and they're like, yeah, so you're just going to have to miss this first game. We're going to get it all, situated and scheduled and taken care of next week. So they missed the game. We lose. And mind you, we got a team. We think we about to go win the SWAC this year, but so we lose the first week, and that Monday come, I'm in the office instantly. They like, yeah, write the appeal. We'll see what we can do. So I wrote the appeal. I hold on real quick. My bad. My dog is tripping. All right, now she calmed down. But yeah, so I wrote the appeal. And I turned it in, and then so they got me waiting. I'm talking about waiting for a week later. So I missed another week. 2 weeks go by. They finally like, yeah, we got your appeal, but there's nothing we can do. It's late. We can't accept it. So I'm talking about, we make a big deal about it. We go to the board, we go to the vice president, we go to the president of the school. Like we go through a whole situation, meetings with them, and they just tell me, they're like, yeah, we want to help you, but there's nothing we could do because you missed the deadline. And if we like accept yours, we got to go back to all the students that maybe not even played football or just played athletics, and they had to write an appeal, and we got to accept all theirs late. So we can't do nothing for you. So long story short, man, I missed my whole senior year. I didn't even get to play my senior year of football in college, my D1 senior year. And I'm lucky because I still got to compete in my pro day, which a lot of people don't. But I still got to compete in my pro day. I killed it at pro day. Like that whole season, I wasn't training. I wasn't practicing. I wasn't doing anything. I was just training, trying to get focused for that. And I started working. I got a job. But yeah, so I went to my pro day. I killed the pro day. I talked to the Browns and the Rams after pro day. They gave me their card. They said if they had a spot for me at camp, they're gonna call me. Unfortunately, I never got a call. And as you guys know, that's when you don't make it to the league, or you don't follow through on your dream.
That realization.
You start to realize like, oh, what am I about to do?
Yeah.
So I totally lost, man. I had no clue what I was going to do. I got a job in Houston. I'm living in an apartment. The rent's $750, and I can't even pay that really. So I'm asking my parents for money. I'm struggling for like 3, 4, 5 months. Just trying to figure out what I'm gonna do in life. And then building connections. And this is why I always say your network is your net worth. Is through the connections and the relationships I built with my teammates, which is now one of my brothers. I call him my brother for life, just because, just like y'all. So through the connections, he put me onto a job for Intuit. Y'all probably seen the commercials for Intuit, man. We have #1 tax software, accounting software for small businesses, Fortune 500 company. So, man, I got that opportunity and I took off with it.
Yep.
And so now that changed my whole life in a whole 360, from going from not being able to pay my rent and working in a Sam's Club to working for a Fortune 500 company and being a top salesman at the Fortune 500 company. So I just say that to say, and that propelled me to start this business where I'm teaching unnoticed student athletes how to navigate the recruiting process. And honestly, it feels better. I honestly think it feels better than making it to the league. You know, helping kids and helping the youth and just sharing my knowledge with them is amazing, man. I couldn't be more proud of myself and more happy with it. And I just say that to say it's a testament of my faith and like we're talking about the topic, character. It's all about what you're going to do, and when you get knocked down, what you're going to do. Are you going to fold? Or are you going to stand up and stand 10 toes and have faith that you're going to make it out? And to touch on something that you guys were talking about is your support system. My support system wouldn't let me fail. My support system was more than supporting. Like my mom, my dad, my sisters and brothers, like my coaches. Even when I was getting in trouble, man, they never lost faith in me. They never put me down. Like they always picked me up, and that's why it's huge. It's big to surround yourself with people who are like minded and people who are on the same page as you. Because people that's not on the same page, if when that happens, and I seen it myself. When I got in trouble, when I didn't make it, I seen so many people from back home or so many people that I mess with just stop communicating with me, stop talking to me. Like, you know, they were like, you know, they disappointed in you. They expect you the one, you the one supposed to make it out. You the one
Yep.
supposed to make it to the league, and you don't. Now they like, oh no, we're not messing with him. He messed up his opportunity. He no good. So I seen that side of it too. So that's why I say surround yourself with good people, keep good company. And I always say one thing that a millionaire and an entrepreneur told me is what entertains you trains you. So make sure you're entertained by good information. Make sure you're as an athlete. Make sure you're entertained by being an athlete and your sport and people who are doing it or people who are successful in that field. Because like I said, what entertains you trains you. So you want a game all day, that's not going to help you. You just watching cartoons and movies all day is not going to help you get to the next level. So that's just some gems and some things that I wanted to talk about with y'all, and I appreciate y'all letting me share it.
Hey,
Nah.
nah. And the thing with your situation, when you said you didn't make it to the league, I tell everybody sometimes that loss is a lesson.
And
That L is a lesson, man. You think it's a
facts,
loss, you're sitting down all down on yourself, and then you learn how to do something, or somebody, like you said, somebody put you on, and then you learn how to do the into it. Then you learn how to open your own business, and like you said, at the end of the day, it feels better. It's like, wow.
it does.
I mean, the league is cool, you know. Everybody want
It
to go to
is,
the league, but starting your
mm-hmm.
own business, writing your own book, and that's huge, man. That's
Huge.
Man.
huge.
Facts. That's facts. I
Yeah.
appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
And
that's
it's crazy because it's like people you don't even think about is, you know, proud of you and proud of your success and you for, and they know you. They know what you went through. They know your journey. So they happy to see you overcome that. And it's a blessing, man. I couldn't be more proud of myself. I couldn't be more excited. And one thing I always told my dad, like when I was going through those ups and downs, because it was like I was going through so much. It was like I would go get at the top of where I needed to be and then just fall off. And then one time, and I just remember one time I was talking to my dad and I told him, I was like, maybe God's plan for me is not to go to the league, you know, because a lot of people get caught up in, you know, trying to force their
Yeah.
plan when in reality it's not your plan, it's God's plan for you. And everything, my philosophy is everything happened for a reason. So if it's happening for a reason. It's a lesson. I don't never say you took an L. I always say that's a lesson. So
there you
just to
go.
touch on what Jarrell was saying, for
There you
sure.
go.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. You know, that's like when you touching on the people that you around, you want people that really love you. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna show you real
Mm-hmm.
love because that's unconditional. So these people that's
Mm-hmm.
showing you love when you up and they show up when you up, you gotta take note. You gotta take note.
Mm-hmm.
If you showed up when I'm up, when I'm on, then I gotta watch you. I mean, and no disrespect to you, but
Mm-hmm.
I gotta keep my relationship with you as I keep it. But the people that was around when I was in the ashes, oh, those
Mm-hmm.
those are my people now. Like I'm gonna
For,
stay linked up
Trust me, I know, man.
for
I
life.
lost
For
girlfriends, I
life.
lost
yeah,
friends, I lost it all over
yeah,
not making it and getting in trouble and different types of things. So I know, man.
Yeah,
I know.
I'm
And
gonna
that's why
stay
I
linked
preach it.
up. You see, that's why you
For sure.
appreciate it.
Yeah, that's why I preach it and appreciate it for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You got to keep them close because those are the ones that are gonna be able to help you sustain what you got now. Because once you
Hmm.
start to get more, you start to build. Those are the people you can kind of confide in, and I believe that the adversity it creates the sustainability. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yep.
it makes your ventures and the things you go into it makes it more concrete. It's like I'm not going backwards because I know what can go wrong. Like I know everything that can go wrong with this situation. I've been there already. I've done that. So
Hmm.
now that I've been there and done that, I'm not gonna make them same mistakes again. Like if
Right.
you are a smart person, scientific method, you're going through the processes of life, you're not gonna make the same mistakes twice because you know what can't happen. Like that cannot happen. I
Hmm.
experimented already. It's done. Done with it.
Hmm.
Or you insane, you'll keep going through the same thing over and over.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's the
Facts.
definition of insanity. You
It's
insane,
two
you're gonna
ends.
keep
That's the two ends. Yep.
yeah, so that's something I really believe in, man. Just adversity building us, building that character as we talked about. And then projecting that onto our youth because our youth is gonna be our future. And that's why I told Jay Jones from the jump, man. Lavell, I really want to tell you on the podcast, I appreciate what you're doing because you're propelling kids to get to a point where they can get their school paid for, and then
Man,
also they can change their families' lives. Like
I
that's
appreciate it, man.
becoming a first generation college student. Like you ain't gotta go to college. Let's put that out there. I'm not. This
Yeah,
is
put
not.
that out there. Yeah,
Yeah. This
and
say.
it's crazy because I was just talking to my girlfriend about that. Like, I'm not going to push my kids to go to college. If that's something they want to do, they could do it. But I'm not going to push them. I'm gonna more teach them about, like Jarrell was saying, stocks, bonds, investing, and being an entrepreneur. Because, like I said, a lot of people at college. I don't want to get on that topic, but
Yeah, you
yeah,
ain't got to.
just
You
go
ain't
ahead,
got to.
man.
But
Yeah,
no. But we know that you don't have to go to college though. You don't
right.
have to go to college. There's a lot of different things you can do. But when you do go to college, it's kind of like one of those
Hmm.
security things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
it's a security blanket.
when you show up to the job after post college, you know what I'm saying? You can say that I am an undergrad from Howard
Hmm.
University. Like if
Hmm.
that person that's hiring is a Howard University graduate, your
you wanna
chances of
go?
getting hired have
You wanna
literally
go?
Hmm.
soared to the through the roof, man. Like and
It
then
don't even gotta be Howard, just HBCU, any,
HBC,
you
Yeah,
feel me?
for
It's
real.
a connection.
boy, we could talk about that for a minute because
Yeah, facts.
yeah, we could talk about that for a minute. But it's just like those opportunities you miss out on those when you don't have certain information. So
Hmm.
I think that's big. Jay Jones, we lose you again, man.
I got a call. I got a call. My granddad.
Oh, granddad, we gonna holler at granddad. Nah, we all got a lot going. We had a couple of technical issues, but we good though. But I really wanted to
It
get
was
on.
all me this time. It was all me.
It was a little bit me too. I ain't
Oh,
drop all
okay.
that information, but I want to get on a little bit of cap or no cap though. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Okay.
got
Okay, okay.
so the way this worked, Lavelle, this is new. I've experimented with this a couple times. Me and Jay Jones, we gonna put a little statement out. You know what I'm saying? And then we gonna go around and we gonna say is this cap or no cap? You know what I'm saying? That's all.
Okay.
So if
Oh,
you gonna
gotcha.
say it's cap, then give us a reason why. You know, a quick little reason why. No cap to give us a quick little reason why. So my first statement right here, and I gotta do this because you from the East Coast and you've been to Texas now. You know, you've been to Texas now. The South is the best in athletics. Is that cap or no cap? Now, Jay
Am
Jones.
I going first?
No, Jay Jones
Yeah,
going
yeah.
first.
Go
Jay
ahead, go
Jones
ahead,
going
go
first.
ahead,
Now,
go ahead.
I
Yeah.
want to get to Jay Jones first. Jay Jones.
No, no cap. Capital letters.
No cap? Why?
Come on, Texas, Louisiana, Alabama. I mean, SEC country plus a little bit of Big 12. Come on now.
Okay. What you think, Lavelle?
I say no cap, no
No
cap.
cap?
Yeah, I gotta give it to him. I gotta give it to him, man. I played at all over the country. So I started on the East Coast. I traveled to the West Coast, and I played down south, man. And it's different down south, man. It's like it's West Coast is pretty similar, but down south got it, man. Florida, Texas, like you said, Florida, Texas, Alabama, Louisiana, those states,
Yeah.
they got it, man. It's different. It's a different atmosphere. It's a different atmosphere for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say no cap too, man. Something in that water, man. Once you get in that swamp water, that little area right there, it get crazy over there, man. That
Yeah, it's
Beaumont,
different.
Louisiana.
Beaumont, hey, a lot
Woo.
of my teammates was from Beaumont, the
No
409.
cap. No cap.
That's no cap.
Yeah.
I got another one for you, and then we're gonna have to go ahead and wrap it up. But Friday is a top 10 movie of all time. Cap or no cap, Lavelle? You go ahead and start with you. Friday, look at your real face. Friday is a top 10 movie of all time. A cap or no
Top
cap?
10 movie. Oh man, for me personally, I'm gonna say no cap.
No cap.
Just for me personally, I don't know how everybody else feel. It's a huge part of my childhood. Just watching it on repeat, just laughing and just it has some good lessons in it too. So definitely, and the whole series, not just the one Friday, just
Yeah.
all three. I think I say no cap. It is definitely in my top 10. I'll put it in there.
Okay. Jay
I
Jones,
guess,
what you got?
hey, come on, man. I've seen it 100 times. I can say like every word of the movie, man. It changed
Yeah.
my life.
Exactly.
No
Yeah.
cap, man.
No
That
cap.
changed my.
No
That
cap.
movie changed my life.
No cap.
Yeah, come on, now. No
Yeah.
cap.
Yeah, no cap here too, man. Cause I mean, Chris Tucker and the
Five,
original
top five, top
boy.
five, top
Yeah,
five.
top
Top
five for
five.
sure. Top five. You know what?
Yeah.
I said I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I said it. I said the statement because it's my number one movie. I just wanted to
Oh,
see if
okay.
yeah. I
Okay.
know, man. I don't know how y'all feel, but it's
I
my.
can't give it number one, but it's in my top 10.
What
It's
you
in my
give it?
top 10.
But look, this is the thing for me though. Friday the series, it birthed.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Mike Epps. You know what I'm saying?
It
Mike Epps
did.
came
Yep.
out of it. Cat Williams that
Cat
got birthed.
Williams.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Tiny R.I.P.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Debo.
Evo.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm talking about? Like, it just
It birthed legends. It did birth
it
legends.
birthed
You
legends,
can't lie.
man. Friday was
John Witherspoon.
John
Just too
Witherspoon.
many people. Too many people.
Man, Friday was the movie. What's your number one though, Lavelle? Since you ain't giving it number one, what you doing over
My
there?
my number one. My number one of all time. I gotta go. Just me personally. I love this movie, man. Training Day.
I
That's
knew
my
he was
Oh
number
gonna
one.
say that. I knew he was gonna.
man,
I was like anything with
That's my
something with
number
yeah,
one.
Denzel. Gotta be something with
Yeah, it
Denzel.
gotta be. Yeah, that's my number one. And
Denzel.
and then and then number two is another Denzel movie, Law Abiding
Remember?
Citizen. So,
Ah,
Oh
yeah,
no, that, no, no,
yeah,
that,
did
that
that
one go
too.
hard.
All
That
right,
one go hard.
I give you
but
that.
we
Hey,
can't get into it. I can't get into like just a top. It's too many movies, like too
remember
many.
the Titans. Remember the Titans top
Remember
10.
the
I'm a
Titans,
football guy.
Friday Night Lights.
Yeah.
Friday Night Lights
Yeah,
is my favorite one.
I mean, we can
yeah,
take his whole
yeah,
catalog, Denzel's whole catalog. We could,
yeah.
Denzel, he different, man. That's go. He goaded. He definitely
Go,
goaded
yeah,
go.
he's goaded for sure, for sure.
for
But
sure.
man, we know, sooner than later, man, Lavelle, you're gonna be goaded too in this recruiting game. So we
Man,
appreciate you
y'all
sharing the
too. Y'all
platform,
too.
man. We appreciate that's love. And when I reached out to you, you seemed like a down to earth dude. So I was like, yeah, I was like, if he don't hit me back, I ain't worried about Jay Jones, but I love what he's doing. I love what he's doing.
Nah, man, I'm definitely down to earth, man. I love networking and meeting new people, so I'm all for it, and we're gonna return the favor because my podcast is about to come out, so I'm definitely gonna get
Hey,
y'all on there.
There
So
you go.
for
There you
sure.
go. And then before we let you go, brother, just go ahead and let everybody know where they can find you at. You know what I'm saying? Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I know you really active
anything.
on TikTok.
Yeah,
Everything you
yeah,
got
yeah.
going.
I got you. So yeah, man, if you're looking for, so I'm gonna just break it down by section. If you want to order the ebook, the Recruiting Compass ebook, it's out now on all platforms, or you can type in the recruitingcompass.com/ebook. So the recruitingcompass.com/ebook. You put it in your URL, you go to it and go through the process, and you'll have it downloaded on your phone as soon as you pay for it. If you're looking for more just information, tips, you can follow me on IG underscore cross.crown underscore. So again, at underscore cross.crown underscore. That's my Instagram. If you are looking for just some recruiting sessions or personal training, my website crosscrownconsulting.com. So crosscrownconsulting.com. You can find all the information there. I'm available on social media throughout the whole day. I give out tips all day, and I'm here to help. So if you need any help with just recruiting process, with motivating your child to get up off their tail and get out there and grind, I do that too. And then if you just need any type of guidance for life coaching and things like that, I can help you. So I'm here to help, and I appreciate you guys for letting me share this platform with you guys. And man, I'm humble and I can't even believe it. So I
Hey,
never thought I'd be doing that. So for sure.
God,
appreciate you, man. Appreciate you.
no, absolutely, man. God got a plan for all of us, man. It's not always what we think we're gonna be doing, but it's where we're supposed to be, right? It's where we're supposed to be.
Right. For
But
sure.
man,
And we
so
definitely gonna link up off the show too. I wanna
Oh yeah.
network with y'all too.
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's a goal, man. You part of the alumni now, so once you part of alumni, hey, it's up there. It's up there. We got to keep working. We got to keep
Yes,
working
sir.
because at the end of the day, man, I love working with former student athletes because it's a different vibe. You know what I'm saying? We used to
Mm-hmm.
that team, we used to that culture, we used to that type of stuff. So we get to vibe on a
Mm-hmm.
different level. So I really want to continue to work with you, Lavell, Jay Jones, myself. We got a couple of things in the works that we're trying to get going. We're gonna show you some love for coming on the podcast and things like that. But yeah, man, we can go ahead and let you go. Respect everybody's time. Hey, we
No
appreciate
problem,
everybody that
man. I
be.
appreciate you.
Yeah, man.
Tell your dog we said what's up. You know, since she wanted to be part of the
Man,
podcast.
she was in there. She's special guest, man.
Hey
Star
man,
and
you
Special
Nala.
guest.
you gonna have to put her on your podcast, man, and start her, man. You gonna have to.
Hey, that might get us some extra views. You never know.
You never know, man. You never know, man. Hey, y'all be easy, man. We out.
Y'all too. Y'all too. Good night.